Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to The In Fact blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Happy 27th of April. It's Thursday. It's Friday Eve. And I am getting ready to go on vacation. Pretty excited about it. And I'm happy to have my boy The Dream on the line. Son, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on, people? SBTV Nation, Dreams in the house. I don't know for how long, but hopefully the whole show.
Hopefully the whole show this time. And Dream, you know what? I've been just watching a lot of the NBA, and I got to be honest with you. Let's just talk real quick about the Celtics and Bulls last night. Did you get a chance to watch this game or not really?
Very little, as I've been, listen, gang, I got to let you guys know, okay? Your boy's been going through it, all right? I'm not knee-deep, locked with attorneys and stuff. This divorce is getting just heavy, hectic, and nasty as possible. And I've been really busy in my free time and off time. Too busy to get back to a lot of people. I went on Twitter today and looked at my inbox over on as far as the DMs are concerned, and I got tons of them. I'm sorry, gang, but I got stuff going on in the personal world that I just got to deal with at this point, where I've even had to kick sports to the curb, which is crazy. But I got to look at a little bit of it, and I got to tell you, that series is as puzzling to me as they come.
Right. Right on. I mean, I was watching it last night, and the Bulls actually hung in there, but they ended up getting beat by 13 points in the fourth quarter and lost the game. Now, my biggest challenge of that particular game between those two teams was D. Wade and his lack of defense. Dream, D. Wade was just letting cats just have layups and dunks, not even jumping up, putting his hands up. And he wasn't even in foul trouble, so I'm kind of lost on why he was doing that, to be honest with you.
Well,
I was
he's your age.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I've been watching this series. At first thought of this series, with the Isaiah Thomas tragedy that went down, with the Bulls experience, and the Bulls getting the first two games in Boston, I was like, wow, that blew me away. I expected them to steal one. I wasn't surprised that they stole one, but when they won two, I was like, wow. And then they got back to Chicago, and I really thought that they, had a big handle on this thing. Dude, hats off to the Boston Celtics coaching staff, because I got to tell you, that coaching staff, with the ability to manage the death of Isaiah Thomas, the tragedy, and keep their guys focused, go into Chicago, win games 3 and 4 in Chicago, and now looking to close this thing out. Dude, you can't talk enough about the coaching staff of that Boston Celtic team.
Right on. I mean, Brad Stevens is doing a pretty good job over there, considering the fact that they are the number one seed. But you know what? I still think that they have rebounding issues. And I think that they're a really small team. Now, maybe Rondo being out of the lineup for the Bulls is problematic for them, Dream, after all.
We saw the Bulls play without Rondo for a large part of the season. I won't say the majority. A large part of the season, they played without Rondo. And even when they played, there seemed to be no chemistry, as there seemed to be, some infighting and some bickering. But then you remove him from the equation, and that's the only thing we could put our finger on as far as what the Bulls' problem is that Rondo is gone.
Yeah, could be. He had the pink suit on last night, kind of coaching the guys from the sideline with Hoiberg. But you know what? I'm looking at it, and I just don't see the Celtics losing this series after all. They're probably going to catch it in Game 7, maybe even Game 6. But I think they have challenges in the next round, Dream.
Well, I mean, I think they have challenges too, but then again, I honestly don't. Okay, so who do you see them play? Are they playing the Wizards?
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I've been watching this Wizards and Atlanta Hawks series. Now, I did get the Atlanta Hawks to win the East at a crazy, crazy, crazy number. So,
okay.
It was 150-1. So, because my thoughts were this, that if the Atlanta Hawks could somehow get by the Wizards, I think that they would actually beat the Celtics, considering the fact that they have so much size down low.
Right.
Pulling down all the boards with your boy Howard, and you got Millsap, and you got a bunch of other supporting cast. I think they could beat the Celtics, but the problem is now that they can't win on the road, and they can't win in Washington. They actually have a losing record over the course of the year on the road. The Hawks could have had that game yesterday, but every single time I watched it, and I was, just watching it go back and forth, there was no way the Wizards were losing last night, especially with John Wall. Just not.
I got to tell. I don't think the Hawks are winning that series.
No, I don't think so either. They're down 3-2 now. So
I don't think the Hawks are winning that series. And the other thing in this dynamic is, and I heard LeBron say this, and it was so true. The more games you play, especially in these series right here, you get comfortable and you figure some things out.
Yep.
I think that is definitely the case with the Boston Celtics, figuring out some things against the Bulls. They found the weak spots and definitely know how to handle the Bulls. Same thing's true as far as the Hawks are concerned, the Wizards. Now, here's my thing, though. I'm not. Do the Celtics play the Hawks?
Yeah, they would.
Would the Celtics play the winner of the Hawks Wizards?
Correct, because it's a bracket.
I happen to think that the Celtics match up better against the Wizards
I agree.
than they do against the Hawks.
I agree 100%. That's why I was saying that if I can get the Hawks just to win this series and then go in, and play Boston, I think they have a pretty good shot at beating Boston. Then it would just be 150-1 just to win the East at that point. So
right.
I thought it was a good bet, but clearly I'm in bad shape right now, considering the fact that they're 3-2.
We both have done, we've both taken wagers that we thought were good wagers. I thought the Chicago Blackhawks wouldn't get murdered by the Nashville Predators. And by the way, I'm still mad about that series.
I know you are, man.
I'm still mad about that series. But, yeah, I happen to think that the Wizards are going to move forward against the Hawks. I tend to agree with you that the Celtics are going to beat the Bulls. I will say this. Rondo is they're trying to get Rondo in the next game because there's been talk about him being possibly able to play this next game. I'll just say this. If the Bulls were to beat the Celtics the next game, which I don't think that they're gonna, then the Game 7 is going to be epic, and it'll be a really good game. And I would just say that if the Bulls could figure out a way to beat this Celtic team in Game 6, though, I wouldn't just hands down say the Celtics are winning that Game 7 because, there's some cagey veterans still on that Bulls team. Never doubt the heart of a champion. You got some guys with some serious playoffs experience, also NBA Finals experience, as in Dwayne Wade and Rondo. So I'm not quite ready to call that series a wrap, but I do think that the Celtics will win that series.
Well, here's a problem.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler is dealing with knee soreness, and Rondo is doubtful for Game 6.
Okay. Well, here's my thing, though. Knee soreness and doubtful. By the way, if you guys lose Game 6, then you'll have plenty of time to get your knee together and plenty of time to get your doubt back.
I know. I'm looking at it. He's actually listed as out for Game 6, being Rondo. I don't know so much about Jimmy Butler, but that sucks.
I expect Jimmy Butler to be all bells and whistles and full throttle in there. The NBA's actually been pretty exciting. These playoffs have gone pretty well. I like what I've seen out of most of the playoffs. I got to tell you, I don't know if you caught the last Golden State Warrior drubbing in Portland.
I sure did. They were up like 20 right out the gate. Dude.
And I know Stephen Curry goes in and out with his shooting, But when his shooting is on, it is
stupid.
just something ridiculously insane to watch. I mean, they were just, dude was stepping over the half court line, just throwing it up, and it was just dropping in. I mean, everybody was hitting threes. He was hitting them. KD was hitting them. Klay Thompson was hitting them. Draymond Green was hitting them. Iguodala came off the bench and was hitting them. It was like, yo, just run in and shoot a three. Get out. Run in and shoot a three. Get out.
It's like a track meet.
It was like a track meet, and they are the most impressive team, as they should be. They are the most impressive team as far as I'm concerned in the NBA playoffs right now. They look like a monster, and then getting KD back, getting him healthy, and I know that you have hit me up and talked about this Houston Rocket team.
Yeah.
I kind of threw the Rockets out there regular season at you. You didn't want to hear it.
I didn't.
You hit me up about them. I'm still, Golden State to me is the most impressive team in the NBA.
I agree.
Playoffs.
I agree with you on that. However, I do stand corrected a touch, and I was talking about this with the Nation on Monday night.
Okay.
I think, and you're going to think I'm crazy, I think the Rockets can challenge the Spurs.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't, because the Spurs. I mean, here's the deal: Spurs like to slow the game down. That's their whole kind of way they do things now. But I honestly, I'm telling you, I think that if Houston Rockets could get into their game and start running with the Spurs will be completely out of their element. Their age will show, and they'll be a wrap. I really do.
I disagree. First of all, I don't think the Spurs are quite as old as we think that they are.
Well,
I mean, there's a couple players that are old, but their main key guys are in their prime.
Sure.
I don't think they're quite as old. Plus, the way the Spurs play defense, it's just gonna. I mean, Popovich is gonna have the. You know what the thing with? Here's the problem with Houston. OKC is not. OKC is Russell Westbrook and the rest of the team.
Yeah, right.
The Spurs are a whole nother story, and they have multiple scoring options. Not only that, it's a systematic approach. You got basically the Spurs. I mean, basically OKC and Houston turned into James Harden versus Russell Westbrook, one-on-one, who could beat who, back and forth. At the end of the day, Harden won. That's not going to go on against the Spurs. And the three-point shooting, if you have three-point shooting droughts, which Houston Rockets have a lot throughout the course of the game, there's a lot of in and out of droughts as far as three-point shooting. The Spurs are going to eat them up with that, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, I hear what you're saying. I just don't. I don't. First of all, Houston, to me, they do have a transition game, but OKC is a more athletic transition running team as far as I'm concerned than Houston is. So I don't really consider Houston's transition game a huge threat to the Spurs.
All right, my man Jonesy's saying that the Spurs have looked a little vulnerable. So, and it is the Grizzlies that they're playing right now.
But it's because the Grizzlies just ugly you.
Yeah, right.
The Grizzlies could make anybody look vulnerable for a minute because they just ugly you, and they force you into their ugly style of game. And, everything was working right with the Spurs in this series until they had that little referee debacle. Remember I talked about that before Game 3? Mm-hmm. And they seem to turn it around. But I still see the Spurs getting the job done. I just see them getting the job done.
Oh, I agree with you that. But the next series, I'm saying, with Houston. I don't know.
I don't like the Houston is not the same animal that the Grizzlies are. And I don't see... I just don't see Houston challenging the Spurs quite like the Grizzlies do.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, because you're probably going to get the Spurs minus, 240, 250 in that series if they play each other. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have Houston as an underdog in that one. So we'll see. We'll see. I think they could steal a couple of games. I really do. And I want to be honest with you. I want to look and see how they fared versus each other when they played each other, to be honest with you. Because let me just pull this up. I'm pulling up the San Antonio Spurs. When they played the Rockets, they actually lost at home to the Rockets the first game. And then, let's see, they beat the Rockets by 2 in Houston. So it's been tight. Both games have been tight. Let's just see if there's any other ones. And they only played them twice, and they split the series. And each game was decided by 2-point stream. That's a pretty good matchup there. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good. I think, and then you have over in the West, you have Golden State just waiting, waiting for the winner of the Clips and the Utah Jazz, who are up 3-2. Dream.
I told you that Jazz team really bothered me, and I told you the age of the Clippers. You talk about an old team. I mean, the Clippers are an old team. Now, here's what's funny. I don't know if you've been hearing this, but a lot of stories have been circling around out of L.A. in regards to if the Clippers don't win this year, that they're going to try to keep everybody.
Really?
I think that's a monumental mistake.
That's like your boy coaching the Cincinnati Bengals over there. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to amount to anything. It's just nothing's. It's like Phillip Rivers in San Diego.
It's San Diego.
It's just not going to. Nothing's going to happen out of that.
Well, the argument is that who do they get? You know, who are they going to get this better? There's not a lot of available people that are better. Blah 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 blah. And Doc Rivers wants to keep this guy, so they're saying they're good. And I somewhat understand where you're coming from, but the flip side of that is this team. You know, it's not like you're going to the NBA Finals and losing.
Yeah, right.
You know, if you're going to the NBA Finals and losing, then I want to keep the team in place, so to say. But when you're losing, you know, first, second round of the playoffs, you know, it is time to do something to break this team up. Plus, this team, man, a few of these guys, Chris Paul, Griffin, they just can't seem to stay healthy.
Right on. And you know what? I mean, yeah, that's the thing. See, you're getting to the playoffs and you're losing either the first or second round all the time. And what that does, and the problem is, guys, for that, is that you're never going to really have good draft picks if you're making it to the playoffs each and every year. It's a no-win situation, Dream.
Well, for the most part, it's a no-win situation. I mean, basketball and draft picks, though, I don't think it's quite the
No, it's
same
not
as
like
football and
It's not
draft
like
picks.
football, right? It's definitely not like
You know what I'm
football.
saying?
Got it. But
Because hoop, you could get that, you know, you could get that low first round draft pick and still land, you know, a seasonable player or a seasonable piece to your puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, when you look at the Clippers and you think about, they already have a dominant big man in DeAndre Jordan. All right, so let's get rid of Blake Griffin and let's see if we could service a forward. I mean, some of those parts and pieces to that puzzle, they might be able to get. So I don't think it quite detrimentally hurts you as much as football does.
got it. Well, you know what? It's kind of crazy, man. I just think it's a no-win situation. But anyway, that's the NBA playoffs. Obviously, and Dream, you know, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers who are just sitting there salivating, waiting for the winner of the Bucks and Toronto Raptors.
I don't know that the Cavs are salivating.
Why not?
They are sitting there. Come on, listen. Let's not forget. I know the Cavs swept Indiana. Let's not forget the two of the games they probably should have lost.
Maybe. They won them, though. It's called winning.
They did. No, I know it's. But that's why I'm saying they're not salivating. If anything, they hopefully should be practicing.
They should be practicing. Oh, and you know what? They're definitely going to be glued in tonight when the Bucks play the Raptors. And Toronto's actually a favorite in this matchup, -1 point, with an under over 190.
This is another series that I cannot figure it out.
It's tough, right?
I thought Milwaukee, to me, and in all of the games, Milwaukee really looked, I mean, not all of the games, but I'm just saying, Milwaukee came out the gate, they looked really dominant, looked like they figured the Raptors out. I thought the Raptors this thing isn't working with them either. Then all of a sudden, the Raptors now, they seem like they're dominant, and Milwaukee seems like they can't figure it out.
Well, you know what? They're playing home tonight, and I have a pretty good sneaky suspicion this is going to go 7 games, Dream.
You know what? For some reason, I don't know why, I happen to think it's done tonight.
You think so, huh?
I do, because, you know, this is one of these bizarre series. First of all, I talked about the Raptors before being a very good road team. I did talk about that in this series, I believe Game 3. And you have to keep that in mind with this team because they do play well on the road. And this Milwaukee team, you know, they've shown some holes. I mean, they have the explosiveness and definitely the athletic ability. They have the dynamic athlete player there. But when you think about a team on a whole, I mean, it's apparent to me that the Raptors is still better put together as a full squad and a full team than the Milwaukee Bucks are.
Agreed. But I don't know. just felt like the Bucks could possibly win this series. So we'll see how it all shakes out tonight. Obviously, the odds makers are a little on the fence. They're not sure who's going to win tonight. So
at the beginning of the series, I agreed with you. Milwaukee stole the first game. They looked really, really dominant. Then they looked dominant another game. But all of a sudden, like I said, teams figure other teams out. And it seems as though the Toronto Raptors have seriously figured out the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm very, very worried about, well, I wouldn't say worried, but it's very interesting what's going to happen tonight.
Right on, Dream. So, speaking of playoffs, let's just talk real quick about the NHL that's popping right now. So, Preds, Blues, Oilers, Ducks, Rangers, Senators, Pens, Caps. Got some pretty good series there.
Okay.
All right, and what do you think? So, you still think the Penguins are going to be victorious here in their next
I'm definitely all over the Penguins still. I mean, this is going to be a great series here. The Penguins are just it. As far as I'm concerned, Penguins are the best team in hockey. And this right here is actually should be, I hate saying this because, there is the Western Conference. But to me, this is like that. This is like the AFC conference game and the NFC conference game. Sometimes that's better than the Super Bowl.
Yep.
This series right here, to me, may be better than the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. So, I don't know, man. We shall see. We shall see. I haven't really watched much of the hockey, to be honest with you, Dream. I've been like entrenched in the NBA and doing a little baseball, to be honest with you. So, you know what? We'll talk about it because we got a couple of games going on tonight, including the Rangers, Senators, and the Pens at the Caps.
Okay.
So let's go. All right. So anyway, getting back to it, guys, I want to talk real quick about the MLB. Dude, so far, it's been a dog day afternoon, Dream. The Braves beat the Mets. And, wow, believe it or not, the Toronto Blue Jays were up 4-0 in this game, and they actually lost to the St. Lucia Cardinals. Wow. This was like in the 8th inning, it was 4-0. Where the hell did the Cardinals score all these runs? I missed that. I thought they won. They scored, let's see. They tied it up in the bottom of the 9th, and then they must have hit a grand slam in extra innings. Oh, that sucks. That sucks for the Toronto Blue Jays, who are just 6-15 right now, Dream. Brutal. And the Dark Knight got blown up today, by the way. You know who bet against them?
Who?
Yours truly. I bet against the Dark Knight. I got the Braves plus 150. It was a good bet, I thought, and they won by 2.
Are you talking about? We're talking about baseball, right?
Baseball, yes.
Okay, my bad.
Dark Knight.
I'm locked into all this playoff hockey and basketball still. I almost forgot that baseball season was going on.
It's going on right now, Dream. Here's the deal, guys. Honestly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you got your best 50-50 shot to win with baseball, Dream. And when you got dogs, plus 150 or better, it just seems like it puts you at an advantage, especially when you have interdivision matchups going on. Right. That's why I think it's pretty hard to hit, 2-team favorite parlays in baseball. It's really tough, especially when you got 162 games, kid. It's nuts.
Okay.
Jonesy's telling me plus 1.5 puck lines have been the bomb in the NHL playoffs. Yeah, they've been a lot of one-score games. A lot of them. So, anyway, Dream, that's all I got for baseball. There's some games going on tonight, and we will talk about it.
Because really, I'm like, you just ruined all my steam. I was excited to be back. So far, the show's going smooth, and then you just baseballed me.
Baseballed you to death, man. Well, you know what? Hey, it is what it is, and people are, gambling on it all day long today.
Oh, because that's what gamblers do. Just like at a bar, there's an alcoholic sitting in there right now, getting a Jack and Coke.
Murdering it right now.
And there's a crackhead somewhere copping for a bag.
No doubt. All right. So you know what? We're halfway through the show, Dream. Let's get right into what's going on tonight. Because there are NBA playoffs among us, and we need to have a conversation about it. All right. So we touched on this game briefly. Let's just reiterate what we had to say here. You're thinking that the Raptors can get the job done and get this series won tonight in Milwaukee. Right?
Well, okay, before we get started now, everybody got their pins out, ready to hold the Dream to it. this is not the game to bet on.
Okay.
From a gambling standpoint, you guys know we do situational spot bet situations. This is not the game to bet on here. This Game 7 obviously will be the game to bet on, and you bet the Raptors. We wait, hope the Bucks win this game, and then load up on the Raptors for Game 7. That's how you situationally do it. However, for some reason, my spidey sense is tingling with this game, and I happen to lean the Toronto Raptors. But I don't love the spot, so I'm not saying that you should bet it. I don't think you should. I think it's just a watch spot. Maybe you do an in-game wager after you take a look and see how these teams look as the game begins. You might want to even grab a first half and just take the Milwaukee Bucks in the first half, because you would expect the Bucks to come out emotionally charged in this particular situation, come out emotionally charged and ready to, the crowd will be crazy and ready to take it to them. But watch the Raptors wear on them throughout the game and maybe sneak them with that run late in the third, early fourth, and end up winning.
Right on. Right on. You know what? I'm seeing that there's 2 home team underdogs on prime time tonight. So you couldn't convince me to bet the favorites tonight at all.
Get involved in that.
Under-over
old wives' tale.
Under-over is 196.5, and I can tell you that a couple of these Raptor-Bucks games have been ugly. There was one, it was 87-76 on the 22nd, a couple games ago.
I don't think you can go with the total in this game, because you just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, the Bucks could come out ready to run. The Raptors can match their intensity, or they could come out and play half-court sets. Both these teams do a little bit of both and aren't really married to one.
Yep.
One style of play. So I don't really think there's a dominant, or I don't think there's a great way to call as far as the over and under is concerned. I don't think the total's a great option to look at.
Okay. All right. So let's move over to the next game, which pits the San Antonio Spurs, who are 40 games over 500 this year, playing the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 4 games over 500, 40-4. Memphis Grizzlies are getting 5.5 with an under-over of only 189.5. Damn, that's a low total, brother. Wow.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on it? There's no way you could bet the over, not with these two teams.
No, I don't. I disagree with that, and then especially, there's no way you can. I agree with you. No, don't.
No, definitely not. Even though the last 3 games between these teams have all gone over. All 3 of them in the last 3. And it's, let's see, the totals were 188, 187, and 188.5. And this one is 189.5. So, why do the Grizzlies challenge the Spurs when they're home?
Because they are the Spurs, but just a bad version.
Right on.
Okay? They are Spurs. They're a bad version of the Spurs. So, and what they do, I don't necessarily think it's a challenge, but what they do is they just, like I said before, they ugly you kind of to sleep.
Yeah. Well, Conley's been a beast.
Of course.
Conley's been very good.
Because he's their version of Tony Parker.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's fast, he's aggressive, and he has definitely been shooting the lights out. I don't like the game. I think this is a really tough game. So I'm going to stay away.
Okay.
But there's a chance. I mean, there is a chance that the Spurs can close it out tonight, Dream. I
would. And I know you don't like the prime time home team and all that. So what I would do is I'd grab a garlic clove and a crucifix and put this play in. And I happen to like the San Antonio Spurs here. So I like both away teams today, which is not usually my thing, but I do like both of them. You might want to tease them to get rid of the points. Moneyline parlay them as well. However, I do like the Spurs a lot more than I like the Toronto Raptors, because I really haven't liked what I've seen out of Toronto Raptors, especially in this playoff series. But and I think San Antonio will be, Pop will be really all business tonight. I think they figured out some things last game. I know Memphis will be hot, and Memphis will be electric, and the Grizzlies aren't trying to lose on their home court. But I don't think the Spurs want to tinker with, let's bring them back home to win the game. I think the Spurs want to get this done and get it over with right now. That's the way they do business. So I would expect them to come out and be ready for this. And I like the Spurs to win this game tonight.
-5.5. You going to lay that? Or are you going to just money line?
I don't like the 5.5. I don't, because it may be a tight game. So what I would recommend in this situation is, like I said, you could tease it with the Raptors. You could money line parlay, leave a spot open, or you could take Milwaukee in the first half and the Spurs for the game. You could do that too. I mean, there's a few options you could do. I would do whatever you had to do to get rid of the Spurs points, though.
Okay. Well, 5.5 is not that. I mean, if you get that down to a money line, it's not overly expensive.
We don't think so, but members of the nation probably losing their minds.
But you got to pair it with something. You can't just do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like losing. I mean, what is the money line right now with them with that particular game?
I'll look it up.
Is it probably -250 something along those lines?
Let's see, hold on one second.
I got it right now, brother. Pulling it up, and it would be -220. So you got.
See, I don't have an issue with that personally.
You got to put something together with that, though.
See, I don't need to put nothing with that. Just put the 220 on it and just roll out.
Yeah, you think so, huh? Yeah, but if you lose, you're losing like 2.5 bets.
Then you lose, then, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's part of. If you worried about losing, then stop gambling.
I guess so.
All right? That's what it's all about. If you're worried about losing, you heard it right here from the dream. If you're worried about losing, then gambling is not your thing.
Yeah, good point. All right. So let's pull up the NHL because we got a couple of games on a ticket, and maybe you could pair something with the San Antonio Spurs. As you got the New York Rangers at the Ottawa Senators tonight, and it's basically even money all across the board.
It's even money across the board. Now, the Rangers showed the heart of a champion winning the last series. And those of us who believe in conspiracy theories, look at this Ranger, look at that Ranger Montreal Canadian last series. I talked about it on the show. Boy, did hockey have a big sigh of relief that the Rangers moved forward from a network television standpoint, because they didn't need the Canadians, another Canadian team, to move forward in this series, and especially to get the New York market and the New York market viewing. This was a huge sigh of relief for hockey. That being said, I don't like the Rangers in this series.
No.
I like the Ottawa Senators. The Senators are very hot. I think they're coming in tonight with a little momentum. Now, don't get me wrong. The Rangers got all the momentum in the world coming in this series, too, especially having being down against the Canadians and then coming back and then beating the Canadians in Canada. I mean, it was extremely formidable for the Rangers. Senators are a little bit different animal. I don't love the Senators' power play kill. That I will talk about. I don't like them on a power play kill. But I do like the Senators defensively, though. I like their defense, the way they defense. Power play kill, though, sometimes can be a little lackadaisical. Hopefully, maybe they're not put in those type of situations. Very hard for me to take the Rangers tonight. I do like Ottawa to win this series. But I'm going to stay away from a series play with this particular series. Tonight, I like Ottawa to win the game. And I like the game to be under 5. Ottawa wins under 5. I do like that. I would not mix it with NBA, though. I mean, I know I said I like the Spurs. I don't think I would mix it. I don't love this Ottawa Rangers series. So if I had to take a game, though, I do like Ottawa, and I do like the under.
Like Ottawa and the under. Under over 5 goals. All right, man. Well, the next one is the big one.
And if you are going to pair Ottawa, if you guys are listening to me and you like what I said and you're thinking about getting rid of the Spurs points and you want to pair it up, buy Ottawa, buy the under and over. If you're going to take that under 5, buy it up to 5.5.
Got it. Okay. Next game we got on a ticket is the Pens versus the Washington Caps. Washington's -135 with an under over 5.
And those of you that are foaming at the mouth to take the Pens tonight in this game 1, fall back a little bit.
Fall back.
Let's watch the series. I do like the Penguins for the series. Let's fall back with the game one. Capitals know what's going on. Capitals know who the Penguins are. Don't make any mistakes about it. And the Caps are dope too. Okay, they got great skating, great passing, scoring. They got a lot of elements to this. I do think that the Penguins are the polished and more physical team, but the Caps, listen, the Caps know where they're at. There's a lot of talk surrounding them. They've imploded in years past, not have a great playoff run. Some of you guys are probably getting ready to go ham on the Penguins. As far as game one is concerned, I think you could go ham on the Penguins for the series. I'm not going ham on the Penguins for game one, though, because there's some figuring out to be done here. Caps got to be feeling themselves a little bit. Yeah, I know they were supposed to beat Toronto, but, they went and did get it done and move forward. They didn't do it in very impressive fashion. I get that. Don't go crazy yet. Let's not go crazy yet with the Penguins. Let's watch game one, and we may have an idea what to do games two, and definitely what to do game three.
You know that the Washington Capitals are the number one favorite right now to win the Stanley Cup, +2.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta love the Pittsburgh Penguins to win this. I mean, that Pittsburgh Penguin prop to win the Stanley Cup to me was dope. I put it in at the beginning of the playoffs, and I love it.
Yeah, well, they're +480 right now.
I know.
So you could still get pretty good value on the Pens if you wanted to.
I think it's excellent value, and I think you should go get it personally. I mean, I already got some, so I think it's out there for you to get. I talked about the Penguins. I told you I love this Penguin team.
And if you look at it here, so you go with the odds makers, what they have, the top 4 teams, 3 of them come right out of the East, which is nuts. You got the Caps at +285. You got Edmonton +430. You got the Preds at +480 and the Penguins +480. Then
again, we didn't talk at all about the other series, which the Western Conference did start last night. Predators, Blues, Oilers, Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
And the Predators, I don't know what happened to the Predators all of a sudden, but they are a problem.
Seems like as soon as you jumped off them, they became a problem.
Yeah, the Predators are a problem. I mean, I didn't see this. I mean, Rene's been playing amazing. This Predator team has been an absolute problem. Forsberg's been incredible. I mean, his team's been really good. I've been really shocked at what they've been able to do, especially in this playoff run that they're in. I've been really impressed with them, and hey, they're playing good hockey. Now, on the other hand, the Edmonton Oilers. Guys, I talked about this Edmonton team throughout the season. I told you that they were going to beat the Sharks. I knew that was happening. That did come to fruition. And here they go against the Anaheim Ducks, and they're going to beat the Ducks. I think that the Oilers are actually the team that's coming out of the West, personally. But this Predator team has a lot of momentum right now, and they are seriously believing themselves.
Really? Okay. So why don't you take a little prop with somebody to win the East and somebody to win the West? So you got so you say, I mean, Pens versus Oilers is +767, bro.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm gonna just sit still with the West right now. I do like Edmonton coming out of the West. I think it's easier to bet. You can bet game to game on the Oilers. I did take the Oilers for the series against the Ducks as well. I'm pretty confident in that. I am interested in seeing who comes out of this Predators-Blues series, because the Blues looked pretty impressive last series. Then they dropped his first game to the Preds, so there's the impressiveness right out of the window. But let's watch that one, because Oilers-Preds is going to be a very interesting dynamic series. That's going to be a very interesting series. And while I still think that the Oilers will emerge, I don't know if I'm ready to blast Nashville out of there this early yet. Let's see how Nashville plays St. Louis, because Nashville could be on some pure Cinderella adrenaline special type stuff right now that we sometimes see in sports, because they're looking like they got the magic right now, Pat.
Take the Senators versus the Blues +3,900. Not bad. Not bad, guys. All right, so I'm glad you're intertwined in this hockey, brother. Because you know what? I haven't, I've been all NBA.
Yeah, hockey's been good, man. Hockey, it's on late. It's good. Man, it's exciting to watch. I don't know if you guys are. I mean, if you could watch a baseball game, if you turn on a hockey game, you'll have a seizure.
Right on. Well, not if you're watching the Washington Nationals and the Colorado Rockies right now, because it's 16-5.
Not if you're watching that. Add some excitement. But I'm telling you, these hockey games, all you got to do, turn the hockey game on for 50 seconds, and you're all in. You're all in. You won't be able to turn the TV except for when they go to intermissions, because the hockey's good. It gives you. I mean, you got some scoring elements, and I'm telling you, this Caps Penguins series, dude. I am excited. Get your popcorn ready. I am excited for this series. It's going to be one of the better ones, because Caps Maple Leafs was hellified.
You know what my favorite part of hockey is? It's the last 3 minutes with the empty net. That's the most exciting part of the game, Dream.
Yeah, well, it depends on what team you took, by the way, that makes that exciting. It makes it not.
No, I think it makes it either way, because it gives you either anxiety or you're just sitting there screaming. I mean, no matter what, it's the most. It gets you the most amplified.
I'll tell you what, that Predator Blackhawks series, there was not an exciting moment for that in that series for me at all.
No, you were down right out the gate, man. 5-0.
What a bad series. Caps came through for me, though. Caps handled their business, beat the Maple Leafs like I expected, and that did work and come to fruition. And Edmonton did beat the Sharks. That came to fruition. So we had some great calls as far as that's concerned. And, gang, I am going to try to get Hockey Immortal back on the program to hear what his thoughts are about what we got moving forward. Just been a little bit busy, a little bit sidetracked with a lot that's going on right now for your boy.
All right. Sounds good, Dream. All right. So let's jump really quick into the MLB and see if there's anything up our sleeves. I already cashed the Braves today, so I don't know. I don't know if I might take a little bit of the money and put it on Chris Sale. You know,
Yankees, Red Sox?
Yeah. You got Chris Sale versus Masahiro Tanaka. The Red Sox just lost last night, and, have to kind of, I can't get swept in their building here. So, taking a look at it, Chris Sale, maybe the -1, it brings you down to a, -130, -140, something like that. That might be a spot I may get involved in, Dream. And if I do it, you know what, I might actually parlay Chris Sale and the under 7. Because I think
I gotta be honest with you.
Yep.
This Red Sox team, they just don't do it for me this year.
Nah. Well, they are, let's see, 11-9. Nah, they're up and down right now. The thing is that this team is, favored all the time. So, I mean, if you're chasing the Boston Red Sox, you're in big trouble. I mean, they've had a couple of games here where they lost, a couple in a row. And if you're laying the -180s, ouch. That's all I got to say.
I got to throw something at you. And you know me, I'm not really into baseball, but I do know this. The Toronto Blue Jays are dusty.
Oh, yeah, they are.
And, hey, by the way, you got all 3 Toronto teams playing tonight, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays.
2 Toronto teams. Toronto Raptors and the Toronto Blue Jays. So,
yeah, right.
And both on the road. St. Louis, Adam Wainwright on the mound tonight, and he takes it.
I don't know, because you know what? Sometimes when you have a doubleheader, they split. And the Blue Jays just lost. So maybe a little of a superstition thing as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not going to go and mess with the Toronto Blue Jays here or the St. Lucia Cardinals at that point. That's a really tough way to lose, being up 4-0 like that. But you know what? Hey, it happens. Looking at the rest of it here, there's only 4 games going on tonight, Dream, because they've been doing it all day long.
Yeah, because nobody's going to the baseball games anyway, so they're like, let's just throw them on during the day. Cats ain't going, so let's get them knocked out.
I bet you though, in Colorado, it's got to be a lot of fun, because you know what? You just go right to the dispensary. You get your pot of choice.
Right.
Go smoke it out in the parking lot when you're doing the tailgate. And then you're watching, a 16-5 game in Coors Field. That's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind doing that.
I never did the whole smoking weed thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, right. But I think it would be good, to do that, to take a spin over to Colorado and do it when the NFL starts. Maybe catch a game at Mile High or do a Coors Field on Saturday, and then go to a Denver Bronco game on Sunday. That might be pretty cool.
Did we ever know? So, how did that work? Were you able to smoke weed if you played for the Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't.
No, because it is a banned substance. And I don't know why. I mean, it's still. I mean,
that's my thing, though. You're kind of now superseding the law in those 2 states.
Well, what if you're prescribed marijuana?
Oh, and that's dope too, right?
Oh, that's yeah.
In Connecticut, guys, that's actually going on because you can get the marijuana here now as well, but you have to have the prescription thing.
Well,
and there's a lot of folks running around with cards.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the deal, and this is just the way it is. Connecticut's actually pretty strict with it. I know because I actually, I'm doing my homework because I'm trying to get my card. All right.
Trying to get a free bag of weed.
I'm trying to get. No, you got to pay for it. You still got to pay for it, but I'm looking at it. So the way it is the way it works. Bottom line is you have to have one of the agreed symptoms or like diseases or whatever, and there's a lot of them. There's like, obviously the big ones, HIV, AIDS, cancer, stuff like that. There's the big stuff, but there's like trauma, muscle trauma, and like all this stuff that's like you really got to be banged up to be able to get your card.
They should add divorce to that. I should be able to get a card.
Right.
And just be able to be like, oh, matter of fact, if I went there and just said, hey, listen, I'm going through one, they should be like, all right, well, you can just come on in and smoke whatever you want.
Right on. I hear you.
You know what? I almost am at the point where I might even entertain the thought of doing that. to just try to deaden the senses a little bit. I might have my first bag of weed with you or something maybe this weekend.
Yeah, right on. And it's just, I mean, a lot of people there's a lot of people that have this kind of stuff that are really, it really helps with pain and helps them go to sleep and stuff like that. But it's pretty difficult here, guys. You got to have some really crazy stuff wrong with you to be able to get your medical card. Now, I don't know how it is other places of the country, Dream.
Right.
But I mean, pretty much. And I heard in Massachusetts coming next year, you could actually just buy it as a regular person.
Right.
And not need a card. So kind of cool, man. Listen, I think the world would be a way better place if most of the people smoked herb, to be honest with you, Dream. Because it really calms you down. It really helps you. It really helps you out, really helps your nerves. And for me, it motivates me, man. I start thinking of all kinds of madness I could do to make money and stuff. It works out pretty well. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for us. I have nothing up my sleeve tonight. Nothing really. I'm just having a hard time tonight, Dream. I got my Braves money, so I'm okay. So that's okay. So where are you at?
Where am I at? Here's where I'm at, gang. And let me pull it up so I know the exact number before I tell you exactly where I'm at. Hang on one second as I'm pulling in. Let's get the exact number.
Pulling in your wagers.
I really liked. Ooh, you guys got to put this in now. Sorry.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
I keep forgetting. Hold on one second. I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on.
And the Houston Astros are up on the Indians 1-0, and they were a over plus 150 underdog tonight, guys. What do you got, Dream?
All right, here's what I got. I got the San Antonio Spurs to win the series minus 2150. No, no, I got the Milwaukee Bucks minus a half for the first half. The Milwaukee Bucks minus a half for the first half. I like that.
Okay.
That's my first little piece of the puzzle. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm going to take this evening. Second piece of the puzzle is going to be, I'm going to take the under 5.5 in the Rangers-Ottawa game.
Okay.
Second piece of the puzzle is going to be that. And even though I said I shouldn't do it, I'm punching it in now. Hold on. I'm going to mix it with the Spurs money line.
Okay.
For the game.
All right, that works.
Money line parlay, Ottawa under 5.5, Ottawa Rangers under 5.5, and Spurs money line for the game. That's my money line parlay, and I'm also taking Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not Milwaukee Bucks separate, straight bet, minus the half a point for the first half. That's where I'm at tonight. Gang, so good to be back, so good to be on. It was an enjoyable hour that we were on here, able to escape a little bit of my problems for a minute, even though we had a little fun at it. Because I will always maintain my sense of humor, no matter how bad things get for me. I will definitely try to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right on, Dream. And I'm looking at it. The NFL draft is on tonight, and I will be watching none of it.
Son, ESPN is killing that. They make me want to just blow the TV up. And not that I really want to watch ESPN that much anyway, but they really make you not want to watch it, listening to all that nonsense with the draft, all the overblow. Just one thing, ESPN laid off a ton of people, and no, I don't want a job. Well, no, I do want a job, but I'm not going to make a comment about the job. Why is Herm Edwards still there?
Right? He's still there? They didn't let him go?
Could they please let Herm loose?
I feel you. 100%. All right, guys. Happy Friday Eve to you. Tomorrow's going to be our last day on the program, and then I'm going to be away for a little bit, but we will be back, and I will be tweeting from Mexico and from Haiti and from Jamaica. Looking forward to it, Dream. Looking forward to getting away.
How's the body looking?
The body's looking good, man. I dropped 6.
I ain't got no picks, so you must not be looking that good, because if you was looking right, you would be shitting your boy picks.
16 pounds, brother. Go on.
16? All right,
16 pounds. Good. Yeah. But I let myself go before that. So I still got. I'm like halfway there, and then when I get back, it's going to be another 3 months to lose another 10.
All right, so you're going to still be a little stuffy.
No, I'm okay. I'm not stuffy at all. My pants are falling off me. It's bananas right now. But
all right, good thing. Hey, I want to thank Benjamin Rowe, Terrence Mack, Vegas Girl 92661, Bud Chet at Direct Sports Solution, JC, Super Mario as Mario Martinez is out there. Joey Betts, good to see you out there. Joey Bats, excuse me, good to see you out there. Cash Action Bets wants to send a big shout out to him. Everybody that's hitting me up, gang, I'm sorry. I've been bad. I haven't been on the DMs, but believe me, I'm going through some. Jim Roman's a douche. I see you out there. OJFB, good to see you too, brother. Terrence Mack, I said him. Irvin, Swervin, Irvin, my man Rick Lopez, Deeks Picks, the whole crew, gang. We love you to death. Listen, I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. And even though if you're going through bad times, still make the most of each and every day, because you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
All right, guys. You have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.